Kadiri University has big contribution of Kadiri development. It's said by Sudanjo Supriyadi Wali Songo Kadiri Foundation since 1980. Kadiri University has passed many bachelor to fulfill the society needs in Kadiri especially and in Indonesia commonly. The graduates of Kadiri University have gotten a job in many cities and countries all over the world. Creating the combatant, superior, characterless to be able to combat it internationally in 2026 is the vision of Kadiri University. It is also supported by all faculties in Kadiri University. Kadiri University has academic, profession, and vocational education, namely Law Faculty, Social and Politics Faculty, Agriculture Faculty, Economics Faculty, Engineering Faculty, Health Science Faculty. Using student-centered learning, Kadiri University is supported by the good quality of lecturer to get the good cognitive, effective, and psychomotoric graduation to be able to compete in globalization era. Kadiri University has academic and non-academic facilities such as library, computer center, language center, Asian Studies Center, sports stadium, investigation gallery, mini hospital, and job placement center to make the student easier to get the job.
Mari bergabung bersama kami di Universitas Kadiri.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Before we get started, let me introduce myself. Okay, my name is Sati Ratna Jalanti. I'm one of the students of Management Department, Economics Faculty from Kadiri University, and now I'm in 6th semester. Well, Economic Faculty has two departments, consist of Management Department, Economic and Development Studies, not only for bachelor degree, but also for masters. Don't you curious about what's in Economics Faculty from Kadiri University? The IDX Investment Gallery. Then reading room, then computer laboratory, and also the comfort lecture room. of Economics faculty from Kadiri University, and I'm here really proud to be part of it. So let's joining us in Economics faculty from Kadiri University. What are you waiting for?
Kadiri University is a private university located in Kadiri, East Java, Indonesia. It is located in the west of Kadiri, near with Selamanglang Cave and Airlangga Museum. The location is also near with Maskumambang Hills, makes the Kadiri University be a comfortable place for studying and learning. Kadiri University has big contribution of Kadiri development. It's said by Sudanjo Supriyadi Wali Songo Kadiri Foundation since 1980. Kadiri University has passed many bachelor to fulfill the society needs in Kadiri especially and in Indonesia commonly. The graduates of Kadiri University have gotten a job in many cities and countries all over the world. Creating the combatant, superior, characterless to be able to combat internationally in 2026 is the vision of Kadiri University. It is also supported by all faculties in Kadiri University. Kadiri University has academic, profession, and vocational education, namely Law Faculty, Social and Politics Faculty, Agriculture Faculty, Economics Faculty, Engineering Faculty, Science Faculty. By using student-centered learning, Kadiri University is supported by the good quality of lecturer to get a good cognitive, effective, and psychomotoric graduation to be able to compete in globalization era. Kadiri University has academic and non-academic facilities such as library, computer center, language center, ASEAN Studies Center, sports stadium, institution gallery, mini hospital, and job placement center to make the student easier to get the job.
Mari bergabung bersama kami di Universitas Kadiri.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Well, ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Our seminar is about to begin. Please have a nice seat at your home, office, or wherever your location is right now. Thank you very much for preparing yourself to join our seminar. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning to you all. Respectable, the Dean of Faculty of Economics of Kadiri University, Dr. Nur Laili, the honorable all speakers and participants of this seminar. My name is Nina Lisanti, the moderator of today's seminar. I'm very pleased to see you all here and welcome all of you to this international seminar held by Economics Faculty of Kadiri University, Kadiri, Indonesia. This seminar will discuss about the new normal in the global economy, challenges and prospects. Ladies and gentlemen, we have three honorable speakers coming today. Let's greet them one by one. The first speaker is Mr. Rahul Bandari from SPECS United Kingdom and Jindal Global University, India. Good morning, Mr. Rahul. Mr. Rahul, good morning.
Good morning, Ms. Nina.
How are you doing?
Absolutely great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, doing well here. Thank you. Thank you for joining us today.
Pleasure is all mine.
Okay. And then our second speaker is Dr. Heri Subagio from Kadiri University. Good morning, Dr. Heri. Assalamualaikum.
Lina Lisanti.
How are you doing?
Wabarakatuh. Fine. Absolutely fine.
Yes. Thank you for joining us today, Dr. Heri. And the last but not least, Professor Ahmed Gonim, PhD, from the United Arab Emirates. Is not present yet at this moment, but will join us soon, hopefully. And then I will read the program of this seminar. The program of this seminar is as follows. First is the opening ceremony by listening to the national anthem of the Republic of Indonesia, national anthem of the Republic of India, and the national anthem of the Uni Arab Emirates. And then the second program is the opening speech from the Dean of Economics Faculty of Kadiri University. The third is the presentation of each speakers and continued by a question and answer session for the specific presented topic. And then the fourth is the question and answer session for all of the honorable speakers. And the fifth is closing. We will take a picture together for all the participants and speakers. Okay, in a short while, we will start the opening ceremony by listening to the national anthems of three nations, the Republic of Indonesia, Republic of India, and the United Arab Emirates. Firstly, let us pay our respect to the national anthem, Indonesia Raya.
Indonesia
The second national anthem is National Anthem of Republic of India. Let us pay our respect to Jana Gana Mana.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय
The third national anthem is National Anthem of the United Arab Emirates. Our second program is the opening speech from the Dean of Economics Faculty of Kadiri University. May I invite Dr. Nur Laili for the opening speech? Dr. Nur Laili.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, Dr. Nur Laili, please, you can start the speech.
Okay, all right. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, the distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to say my greatest honor to Mr. Joko Raharjo as a Kadiri University Rector, our talented speakers today, Mr. Rahul Bandari as Director from Jindal Global University, India, and Professor Ahmed Ghanim, PhD, as a Director of Academic Program and Applied Research, President University, Uni Arab Emirates. And the last but not least is Mr. Harry Subagio from Kadiri University. It gives me a great pleasure to welcome all of you on the occasion of the international seminar that discuss about the global economic challenges and prospects in this new normal era, which is held by Economics Faculty, Kadiri University. As we all know that since the coronavirus outbreak in China last year and the COVID-19 disease becomes the global pandemic, all normal things in our life have been changed. Shops, markets, schools, and public places have been closed. Public transportation have been limited, and some stuff price have been increased. And even the way we walk outside is also changed. The situation, of course, affected in economic field. Most businesses have lower turnover during the lockdown, impacting into many employees lost their job. And in the other hand, the prices of some daily items have risen. Even some companies, for small medium enterprise to the big corporation, are facing the supply chain issues. In order to stabilize the economy in the middle of the pandemic, we're all encouraged to start a new normal era. Why it's called as a new normal? Because the way how we live, we study, we work, and any activity in our life still can't be the same as the way we lived before this pandemic. Back again to the economic topic. As an insight for everyone who participate here today, I see many business change their strategy, and it's very interesting to learn about how they bring everything online now, how they try to engage their employee in this pandemic, how they save until how they change their business model. Therefore, I hope in the seminar, all of participants here can get such knowledge from our adorable speakers today that can bring benefits in our life. Finally, I would like to thank all parties that have supported the preparation of this seminar. Let me thank all of the speakers who have made the effort to join here today, and thank you all for having participated this morning. Please enjoy the seminar and always spread positivity in this new normal era. That's all for me, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Dr. Nurlaili. Now we will move to the main program, the presentation from each speaker. But before the presentation begins, let us know the regulation, how the presentation will be going on. During the seminar, we turn off all the participants' mic feature. Participants are invited to ask questions for each speaker through the chat feature, both on the Zoom application and YouTube live streaming or our other social media platforms accounts. Each speaker has around 30 minutes for delivering the presentation material as well as a question and answer session or discussion with participants. Our team will select up to 3 questions from participants for each speaker, depends on the time left for the session. And I will read the question for the speaker after the speaker presents the material. At the end of the presentation session by the last speaker, we reopen the Q&A session, and the number of questions depends on the time left. And the questions are for all the speakers. Okay, now firstly, I would like to give the time to our first speaker, Mr. Rahul Bandari, to present his material for about 20 minutes. Mr. Rahul, please.
Hi, thank you.
The floor is yours.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can I share my screen? Is it fine?
Yeah, yes. Okay.
Selamat pagi Indonesia. A very good morning to all my respected senior fellow speakers, my brother and sister from Indonesia. I would like to start by praying to the God for your safety and your good health. I cannot miss the chance to say that the Kadiri universities are doing amazing things during the time of COVID. I have seen that they have arranged multiple international conferences to keep their students, faculty members, and other local university actively engaged on all important issues during this current challenging time of COVID-19. I also would like to say thanks to Ms. Vita, the head of international relations, who invited me to be an speaker of this wonderful seminar. But before moving further, I know a lot of people have, see me the first time. So I would like to say a couple of lines about me as a speaker. My name is Rahul, and I am Director of International Relation and Outreach, SPECS, United Kingdom. SPECS is basically and a UK-based education consultant who worked in different area of internationalization in different and helping universities to get international accreditation and helping university to have a research and publication infrastructures. So apart from that, I have worked in different countries, especially you can say the country I'm sure that I have worked there, included US, UK, Europe. I have worked almost all ASEAN countries. And the major area where I have worked is the internationalization of university, international accreditation, internationalization of curriculum, quality teaching, etc., etc. I will not waste more time on that. Let me start with that question. When I was student and somebody or any professor told me that, okay, you are going to learn about economy. For me, economy, first of all, is I feel like that's a very boring subject. I don't like it at all when I was a student. And I thought it's all about money. It's not about anything else. So, I mean, most of the students still feel that economy means money, that how much money the country can earn. And it's in the same way. But let me run you a short video because during the time of COVID-19, we realized that money is not all about, life is not all about material, life is something else. So please allow me to run a short video. It's a short motivational video, but an amazing video, which I learned from one of that African student, and I would like to deliver all these things to you people. All right, that's a small story, but I want you all people should remember this during this COVID-19. When we talk about economy of the country, it's not about only one country. It can only be good when all country as an together worked on this area. So there is a word called Ubuntu, which you can which you can see even though heard in that story. I really want you people to remember this word. Ubuntu is basically a small word, means let's together and enjoy together. So let's move back to the topic of the day. I would like to discuss and share my expertise on the current topic. But before that, I would like to give a small understanding to the audience that what economy means, what is going to be mean by global economy, what are the current challenges economies are facing around the world, and what will be the new normal, which you can say that what will be the prospect of new outcomes. The first one, economy, I'm sure that all you people know that. I give you in a short and quick thing that with an example, if there is a person called A wants to produce something and have money, so he is going to produce some product here, and there is another person which we can call consumer. They want that product and they are ready to pay the money. So the producer can manufacture the product and sell to the consumer, and finally the consumer pay the money to the producer. So the producer is having a lot of money. Now he's going to produce more goods, and that goods again going to sold to the consumer. So this is in a circle which we call it economy. The money flow goes and in between producer and consumer, and there are other part like services and other things are involved in economy. So we'll not go on detail because I'm assuming that most of the people knows that. There are generally 4 type of economy we can see. Anyway, there are a lot of economy, but majorly there are 4 type of economies when we talk about. Number one, the old way, we call it traditional economy. The second, which we call it command economy. The third is market economy, and the fourth is mixed economy. So I'll give you some short, quick detail about what it is. When we say the traditional economy, it is the oldest economy. It basically based on agriculture, hunting, when the people goes in the jungle and hunt the animals for eat, and they generally, the best part of this economy is survival. So people do work to survive, and they use barter systems. Like if I have rice and you have meat, so I will give you rice, you will give me meat, and both of them are happy. So this is the way the traditional economy used to work in ancient time. Then move on to the command economy. Command economy is basically the economy where government control the supply. The perfect example of some part of China, some part of, majorly Iran and other Russia, where government will decide what is going to be produced and what you need to consume. So that is similarly a contract kind of economy, which is now very much not very much familiar in all over the world. It's selected with few countries. Third one, which is market economy, where the producer, like I am producing rice, so I will decide the price and other thing of that things, and I buy to the supplier or a consumer. So that is basically what we call it free market, where I have a monopoly to play with the price and the supply of the thing. The government will not stop me and not putting any regulation on me. So that is a market economy. Very important is mixed economy, which is used by, I think, almost 70 or 75% of the countries, where some part of the manufacturing and supply controlled by government, some part of is controlled by the producer. So generally in US or in maybe in India and in some part, in Indonesia also, we used a mixed kind of economy where some things are controlled by government and something is controlled by the manufacturer. So that is a quick thing. Now, what is global economy? Okay, now we are talking about economy. We understood there are 4 type of economy. What do you mean by economy? So what do you mean by global economy? I'll run another short video which gives you an idea. Now we understood that what is economy and what is global economy. Global economy is nothing, is like an outcome of globalization, which happened after Second World War. When the world is getting globalized, boundaries of people are producing goods in Indonesia and selling in India. That is a perfect example of globalization. When one country economy is depend on another country economy. So similarly, like COVID-19 happened in China, it will directly impacted the US, and the US, when the US affected, other economy which is having joined with US like European Union, India and other Asian countries has affected by that economy. So all economies are joined together, interconnected with each other. If one economy is, affected by any reason, it will have a direct impact on another country's economy. So when we talk about economy, how the country calculate the economy, or how we know that in the particular country's economy, we call it gross domestic product. Is basically nothing that how much you produce and how much you sell, and then there is a difference between or buying and selling of the things. If it's in a profit or in we are earning something, we say that there is a particular GDP. So for the country point of view, the gross domestic product is a way to calculate the economy of a country. If you're talking about whole world, the World Bank calculate the whole world global economy in terms of gross national income of a country. Most of the countries in the world have actually evaluate and measure the economy in quarter. In every 4 months, they bring the number that in first quarter, this country is having suppose 5% economy. Second quarter, it is having 2% economy. And at last, after fourth quarter, they take an average and say that in complete year, this country is having that economy. So this is some basic background about economy and global economy. The most important things which I would like to highlight, the challenges. We all know that coronavirus brings a lot of challenges to a lot of countries, and a lot of countries are struggling in terms of economy, and it's having a direct impact in different sector of the economies. So the one and the most important which is alarming is recession. You all know recession means there is nothing to define it, but here I have bring certain things I would like to highlight. Just give me a moment. There was a first recession in 1991. If you remember, like during the end of Cold World War, when the Soviet Union breaks and now we say Russia and other part of the Russia, there was a recession happened, but that is for the very short period. I think it's between 1990 to 1991. So the blue one is in a recession line. See, the line is very slightly goes down. So the impact of recession was not very high. In 2008 and 2009, which is we call it Great Recession, when the US bank and US housing industries burst, and it has an impact of all over the world. So this is the yellow line. You can see it is slightly more downward, but still on not on a diving kind of situation. It is in a slightly going down, and it is still the process the world faced, but it's still in this line. You can see that there is a still possibility people were prepared. Now we come to the 2020, that is called COVID-19 recession, which people are facing and expecting continue in 2021. You can see how the economy goes down. It's in a huge curve, or I should say it's in a huge dive in terms of curve. It's not a slide, it's in a huge going down, and still it is going down. From I think it's started in somewhere around February until it's May, but if I go June and July, you will find it here somewhere. So that's a big challenge. That is a major difference between these three recessions. Why the recession which we people are facing during the COVID-19 is very dangerous as compared to 1991 recession or 2009 recession. Another picture you can see in 1991, this is a recession peak. In 2009, this is the peak, and look at the peak of 2020. I mean, it's far ahead. I mean, it's almost, if I'm say, close to 100%. And look at the difference between these three. So you can understand the impact of COVID-19 on economy in terms of recession. So this is the one biggest challenge in front of the countries when they say they want to go on new normal. Second, is a direct impact of recession is unemployment in the countries. I will highlight only the India one because I am from India. I still remember in 2007 and 19, during the time of Great Depression or recession, not depression, sorry, there was an unemployment ratio in India is somewhere around 7%. And it takes 2 year time from 2007 to 2009, it reached to 7% maximum. But in 2020, during the time of COVID-19, in a span of 4 months, the unemployment ratio goes to almost 11%, more than 4% in 4 months. So that is one of the challenges. I have bring a very sad letter from one of the Indian who's having a company called Tilbag in Dubai. I'm sure my colleague Dr. Gonim knows about him. Tarun Bakshi, he's having a company in Dubai and he's having a lot of employees working with him. He wrote a letter to his employees. I mean, it's very sad to see that how he wrote the letter, and he apologized his employees and say that we are not having sufficient revenue to pay the salaries, and it's very sad to say their employees that we cannot offer you salary, and we are you need to leave the job. So he feel very sad, and he wrote a letter and put it on, even though in his LinkedIn account. So that shows that how much sad he was. And there are other top CEO and other top surveys suggested that I mean, look at the percentage, 32%, 47%. It is going to be the big challenge for, I mean, most of the government when they are thinking about to go a new normal in coming days or maybe in coming months or in next year. Third is very interesting. I mean, it used to come in earlier time also, but during the COVID-19, I have seen that countries are become more nationalist. When I say nationalism or economic nationalism means, I'm giving an example of India. When we have this COVID-19 issues and same time we have a disputes with China, so Indian government decide we are not going to take the mobile, we are going to put a huge tariff on Chinese mobile. We are not going to take lot of product from China. We will start manufacturing in country. And people feel that, yes, I mean, we want to promote our country. We want to make our country strong. So we will not buy product from any other country. We will use whatever we have in our country. So that's a nationalism. So this COVID-19 brings nationalism among the countries, which is a very, I say, dangerous, especially for the globalization things. But it's very good for the country because it is going to help them to boost their economy. And I mean, but they are going to be a closed economy, which is not going to impact other economies. So if Indonesia use nationalism economic policy, anything happened in Indonesia is not going to impact Vietnam or maybe Malaysia or anyone. So that is a closed economy where people are not going to affect by it. It's not good in terms of global economy. As an outcome of national economy, I would like to tell you that what is happening in the world. There is what we call it me first in national economy. Number one, of course, America have started this. During the time of COVID-19, US remained the first one who promote the economic nationalism. Under this, they said that America first, and they said, okay, please, all the American companies who are in China or maybe other part, they have to come back to America and they have to start their manufacturing in America. That is the way the nationalism in economics comes in the highlight. And second, it's I mean, all the recent Chinese expansion in terms of border. I'm sure you're very well aware about that recent China and India disputes on the border for territory, China disputes with other countries. So that is another challenging thing which you can see in economic area. China, one of the ambitious project, what we call Belt and Road initiatives, started by China, is a perfect example of economic nationalism, where they want to build a road till Europe and they want to promote their products and their services all over the world. Third, European Union. Many European Union is saying now that they don't want to depend Asia or maybe China for their good and services because of this COVID-19. So they want all European countries are joined together and they work together without depending on any other Asian or other continent for any product. So which shows again contractionist tendency of European countries, that they don't want to expand their economy. They want to keep their economy with maybe 7, 8, or 9, 10 countries only. So that is another example of economic nationalism. And third, I cannot say anything about Make in India. Immediately after COVID-19, the Prime Minister of India have put, lot of efforts to say people that, okay, please manufacture everything inside in the country and use that product. Don't depend on the product which is coming from outside. So it is another example of economic nationalism. I'm sure that now you people are aware. Let's go back to let's go next to the next challenge which countries are facing is rise of international disputes. So when we're talking about how the new normal is going to be happen, we need to keep an eye what is happening in the world in terms of disputes, because these disputes is having direct impact on the economy of our countries, or even though in the global economy. Number one, all you people know that almost, I think it's like more than 7-8 months when the China and US trade war happened, and how this trade war affect the supply and the economy and the dollar price in all over the world, which is having a direct impact on a lot of not only Asian countries, in European countries also. Second, I don't have any word to say. You people are very much aware about South China Sea disputes is happening. The China disputes with, almost 4 or 5 countries, especially from Japan, Philippines, Vietnam, Indonesia, in terms of sea disputes and island disputes. So I will not waste time on that. You know about this is another alarming topic which is going to be impact on the economy of lot of Asian countries. Number third, which is very alarming right now, is China-Japan Senkaku Island disputes. You know that the US have sent their two aircraft in the borderline of Pacific Ocean to support Japan, because the China was showing aggression towards Japan. So that's raised attention in that region, and it's going to have an impact in a lot of countries' economy. Why am I highlighting all this? Because these disputes having a direct impact on the economy, not only Asia, in other part of the world. Number four, which is again US-Iran nuclear deal disputes. You know that there was a time that when, even though I was feeling that there is going to be a war between US and US allies between Iran, but fortunate enough, by the grace of God, it was stopped. But still the things was happening, and Iran is moving towards to having a nuclear country, and US and their allies are putting a lot of sanction on Iran to stop their nuclear weapon manufacturing things. Very recent, and it is very high on, again, India-China border disputes in Ladakh, Arunachal Pradesh and all. There's it's very sad to say that there are 20 Indian soldiers was, died during the time of these disputes. And it was very unfortunate, especially as being an Indian. The dispute is still on a high peak, and both of the countries' army in front of each other. And there can be anything happen in any time, which having a direct impact on Indian economy also, because most of that our reserves are going on army and all these people, rather than putting that money for the development of poor people and saving people from COVID-19. Last but not least, India and Pakistan disputes on Kashmir. You very well aware that recently India have removed the special 370 articles from Kashmir, and there was a huge disputes between Pakistan and India on that, and all over the world were watching this, because both are nuclear countries and nuclear armed countries, and they are aware, very much afraid that if there is anything happened, which will have a direct impact on the world's economy. After all these things, I wanted to ask a questions to all participants, and I really feel that if you can tell me, do you think that it is going to be the end of globalization? Because we have seen there are a lot of disputes happen. People are going on economic nationalism. They are closing boundary. They don't want people should come in their country. For an example, US has changed their visa policies. UK are not giving a lot of student visa to Asian people. So this shows that countries are closing border. They don't prefer. They said, let us do online. Don't come to our country. So that shows that the globalization is going to end. So in the one side where we are talking about globalization 4.0, and another side we are talking about nationalism. So what do you think? Is it going to be end of globalization and people are going to be more nationalism and focus only on their country, not thinking about other country? So what is going to be the new normal? It's very hard to judge, but as being my experience, what I learned from last 15 years, the new normal is not going to be very different from the old one. It's going to be the almost same with some changes. There's going to be the huge gap between supply and demand because people are afraid of COVID-19. They don't want to spend money on those things which they don't need. So then that means there are a lot of supply in the market, but there is no demand from the consumer, which affect the economic circle because there is supply, but there is no demand. You know that, which I told you in the first slide, that the economy comes when the supply and demand is in circle. So due to this COVID-19, there's a supply, but there is no demand. So that's have a direct impact on country's economy. The country need or the
Mr.
company,
Rahul,
yeah.
I'm sorry, you have 2 more minutes for the presentation.
I'm so sorry to take 2 minutes. So the
It's okay,
company
it's okay.
need to invest lot of health industries and the benefit of employees. There are few sector which is going to take 3 to 4 years to bring back on their feet because they are affected most during the time of COVID-19, which is travel industries, retail industries, airline, hotel industry. You all aware that. So they have a huge loss. So they need a lot of investment from the government side to restart their business. Industry will face a lot of issues because now people are feeling more comfortable on online mode rather to be in face to face. So the people, the industry need to change these things, and for that they need more time. People are going to be more social and more touchable rather than putting focus on money, or they are not going to be materialistic. That is an expectation that people will be more towards God and spiritual things. Companies are preferred, and even though employees are preferred from work from home, and there is going to be the huge gap between economic. There are people not only in terms of money, there is a gap, there is a in terms of opportunity. So there is a huge gap between money, wealth, and as well as opportunity between the countries and between the peoples. And last but not the least, it is a feeling that there is going to be a deglobalization for at least a coming year, because in the 10 years of time, the globalization has affected third time, and people are believing that this is the end of globalization and we need to focus more on nationalism rather than big globalization. Last, I would like to end up with a beautiful quote by Peter. If you talk about economy is not about money, economy is not about material, economy about people. The people who are staying in that country is the actual economy of a country. Thank you very much for patiently listening. I know it's a long, but I wanted to give you a detailed and complete picture, and I'm very happy if you have any query, I'm happy to answer those queries.
Okay, thank you very much for very interesting talk, Mr. Rahul. I agree about the COVID-19 pandemic affects the recession, unemployment, the rise of economic nationalism, rise of international disputes, yes. But again, I also ask the same question, whether this will be the end of the globalization or not. Okay, so
I mean, I very frankly with you, Professor Nina, nobody can answer right now. If people are saying that I can assume that what is going to be new normal, no, we cannot assume it. We are only expecting because of our experience. So I'm talking about my experience of 15 years in higher education. I am thinking that it is going to be the era of deglobalization, at least for 1 year in 2021. Where people don't want to travel, people don't want to use the product of other country, they want to promote their country. But it is for 1 year. But it is my suggestion, or it's my assumption. It can be different because world don't work on the basis of my knowledge. It can be changed. So that's why this seminar is happening, where all expert people can discuss and find out the answer of these questions.
Exactly. So our team has selected some questions from the participant for you. So I will read questions. The first question is, from Miss Pamadia, Vita Smoro, from Miss Vita. She asks about your opinion about which type of economy that is suitable for the countries to face this pandemic situation.
Okay, it's totally depend on country to country, because if I am sitting in US, my country is a developed country, right? So
Yes.
my policy will be different with Indonesia, because Indonesia is a developing country, and there is third country which is in Africa. Maybe they are underdeveloped country.
Yeah.
Their economy policy is different, but in terms of India or Indonesia, I should say that as being a developed country for us, still the mixed economy is the best way, because what I feel that the way in the COVID-19 economy goes down, in the similar way when the things open, it will go up slightly. So the growth will be in U shape. So it goes down like this and it goes up like this. And then it will sustain in somewhere. So the economy will be recovered by U shape, and especially developing countries still focused on mixed economy. Don't go on traditional or command economy. It's going to be very dangerous for developing countries, but it is good for developed countries because they will save their resources and they can increase their other things. So that's my answer for Indonesia and India, focused on mixed economy style, which we generally using right now. Don't close your borders.
Yes, mixed economy style. Okay, thank you. Another question from the participant is how to overcome the international economic dispute. Yeah.
Yeah. As being, I mean, it's a very challenging question because
Yes.
all countries are working, but because I was a student and I teach international relations. So far in the theory of liberalism, people believe that if you want to solve the dispute, I have a dispute with Miss Nina, sorry. Right? We both don't want to talk to each other. So how are we going to solve? The first thing, we find an neutral or a common area which is important for both of us. Suppose Miss Nina wants like rice and I have rice. So I will talk to Miss Nina and I say, okay, let's don't fight. We do business on rice. I will give you rice, you give me money. So business and the foreign policy is the only way to solve these disputes. You cannot solve disputes by fighting or closing your border. So you need to find, if I have a fight with, suppose, India is having disputes with China, so we cannot solve this dispute by going in a war. So what we say, we will talk and we will find the mutual area of interest or benefits where both the country agree and do business. So when we do business, we don't want to fight because it's a profit for both of them. To solve the world dispute is to start business, put money in the circulation so that we don't want to fight.
Okay. Okay, thank you. We have more questions from Endang Setiawati from Surabaya. What about she is asking about India's progress to new normal.
India progress, I say that India is going on economic nationalism. We are pushing a lot of money in different industries of manufacturing and saying that don't depend for raw material to suppose any country. Don't take any raw material from any country. Develop in your own country, manufacture, sell to your own people. And if you have extra, sell to other people. So don't buy, just sell. So that is called economic nationalism. So they are going on that direction, which a lot of countries are going, economic nationalism. Short span during the time of COVID-19, it's a very good policy. But in long terms, for 4 or 5 years, it's a very dangerous policy for globalization. You are closing border, you are going to have more disputes with your neighbors because you are not doing business, then you are start fighting. So please, that's my request to my government also, that after this COVID, they have to change this policy. Let's see how the things happen. But right now, the country is doing like this.
Yeah. Okay. The last question is from the students of the Kadiri University. So it's from Miss Hanindita. She's asking about what aspect, what sectors in the country that should be the most sector to be developed to face this crisis.
I mean, that's very common. Everybody knows that online sector, because now the people prefer everything online. They are ordering products online. They are, even though the complete coming semester in Indonesia also is in online. So to do that semester, you need lot of online mode like Zoom, Microsoft Team, right? You need lot of online learning models. You need lot of online examinations model. So anything which can be in online, or any software, it can be any product, is going to be the booming for at least 1 year. That is my assumption, that upcoming 2020, anything which is online getting a maximum profit as compared to anything which is face to face. So it's my suggestion to the students to start new business in online and earn a lot of money these coming years. And very best of luck for your students to, and thank you very much for asking this question.
Yes, thank you. So I think that's all. Oh, we still have one more question. To increase the economic by doing export. For example, countries, between countries, they don't have disputes, so they still have export and import trade. So what kind of export commodity that is suitable during this pandemic?
Export commodity. I mean, during this pandemic, export is not going to work. It is badly affected because countries are closing their border, and because their economy is very down, people are putting tariff and taxes to foreign products. So an example, if I buy a perfume from France before COVID, it cost me suppose $10. Right now it is cost me $15, because country don't want the export happen. So they are putting a lot of taxes and all. Even though if there is no dispute between India and France, still they are putting a lot of taxes and tariff, because what I say that the countries are going on economic nationalism. They don't want to do that export and import. So under this COVID, I don't think so it is going to be any commodity except healthcare. So for example, in COVID, you need medicine, you need mask, you need a particular medicine which is developed by Oxford for the COVID-19. So that is the only export which is, I feel, that is going to work during the time of COVID. Anything related with healthcare, no fashion, no electronics, nothing export is going to commodity will work except healthcare, or some part of related with food and some raw material, like you need rice, you need meat. That's the idea. But the first is healthcare, which is the best commodity which can work in this pandemic.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Rahul. Thank you very much for the interesting presentation, for the answers for all the questions. I hope you still connected with us until the end. I hope, because we will have a picture together as a proof or evidence of our activity today.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Now, I would like to give the time to our second speaker, to Dr. Heri Subagio, to present his material for about 20 minutes. But before that, please allow me to briefly introduce to you the profile of our speaker.
Yes.
Okay, I will introduce to you the profile of our honorable speakers today. So, Dr. Engineer Heri Subagio, Master of Management. He is a researcher and lecturer of Economics Faculty, Kadiri University, Indonesia. His special courses in management and research method. He is also the director of Speed Galaxy, an agribusiness and marketing consultant company. And he holds his doctoral degree in economics, his master degree in management, majoring in finance management, and his bachelor in agriculture. And also, Dr. Harry also, he was the director and general manager for some automotive companies and music industry, such as Bayer Indonesia and then United Indo-Hada, subordinate Indomobil Suzuki International and Global Lestari Motorindo. He was also commercial director of Sarana Auto Mandiri Kawasaki. He was the general manager of Cipta Suara Anugrah and Suara Visual Indonesia, special for Harman and Samsung. And he's also rector of UPN Jakarta for the Magister Management courses. So, ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to Dr. Harry Subagio. Please, Dr. Harry, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Miss Lina, for the time on this webinar. Of course, thank you for inviting me to discuss regarding the new normal in global economy. And of course, I know the presentation of Rahul Bandari from Mr. Rahul Bandari is very, very good. But the principle in this case is to do a lot of things should need money. If you know already talk about money, money is a king. A king is very, very important to do something in this pandemic era like this time. Okay. Well, as we know that COVID outbreak has opened our personal and work life in ways we couldn't imagine. There are economic consequences to the business that had to make tough decisions. There are new norm on social distancing. There is a new wave in ageism with years to life set as priority who gets treatment. Technology is enabling many to stay connected and working on learning. So principle to do something is very, very important. We used to technology for you know to get something to do in learning and so on and so on. So what are the long-term implications on pandemic for hospitality? As you know that our
Dr.
presentation
Harry,
here,
I'm
yes,
sorry. Can you please share the screen with us of your PowerPoint, or should we share the screen? Okay.
okay,
Okay, thank you very much.
yeah,
Thank you, Doctor.
okay. Talking about the new global economic, as you know that we should to discuss about the condition Indonesia first regarding to pandemic here. As you know that a lot of from Sabang until Merauke, the condition economic of Indonesia is so very affecting by the pandemic here. So what should be done regarding to this? We have to back to you know, what do you think about the hospitality? As you know that our experience, based on my experience, based on my focus here is what about global economy and you affecting on hospitality industry. So as you know that Bali is a very, very famous in international, but we're not so talking about Bali, but we have to talk about a lot of destination brand in Indonesia, like 10 destination in Indonesia uh, that already discussed for a long time. But you know that with condition from this, if we know about visiting our tourism in Indonesia on 2019, the total around 15, but on 2020 the condition is very, very going down. So this is of course is not so much condition, because this is very affecting on the labor on hospital industry. As you know that on the normal hospitality industry are interrelated with each other, interdependent, which is divided into three types: hospitality industry, travel, retail, and traders, and visitor service. But important factors that affect the development of tourists are as follow: environmental factors, socioeconomic factors, historical and culture factors, religious factors, and other factors. Factors that were driving the hospitality industry before pandemic included increasing disposable income, new travel trend, increasing online business of traveling due to increased internet penetration and internet banking, web presence of hotel and tourist directories, and many more. How about the response hospital industry in the new normal? This is, you know that the pandemic COVID-19, the proliferation of COVID cases have varied by country and regime type, guided by a national leader with dramatically different of style. We take a look across nations, see how Japan, India, and other Asian countries outside of China have rolled out their national strategy for containing the pandemic, and take a closer look at who is considered among the best performers. Millions of people forced to remain at home, the labor sector experiencing a historic level of employment. Firm and organization are mobilizing, accommodate remote location. Will this become the new normal? And will it enough to keep the global economy from utter collapse? Developing recovery effort for hospitality. The one is providing the public and private sector with the insight and toolkits for interaction and implementation to ensure that people and feel safe, publishing the protocol in pace and for at least 11 industry, including hospitality, attraction, outdoor, retail, aviation, airport, short-term rental, cruise, tour operator, convention center, and car rental and insurance. The protocol aligned the private sector behind common standard, ensure the safety of its workforce and traveler as the sector of shifts to the new normal. From the global economic to rising seas and the terrorist attack, tourism destination and properties are higher vulnerable to uncertainties that can rock the world on a dime. Since mega disruption are increasing frequent and unanticipated hospital business would do well to prepare for the worst with a comprehensive plan that detail an immediate response to a crisis as well as address potential long-term challenge. Five steps for assessing and developing resiliency in an uncertainty future. Assess vulnerability, develop an emergency plan, prepare the function of the grid, communicate in a crisis, a graceful comeback. And now, with more than 3 million Indonesians having lost their job last month, as you know that with the COVID-19, this is affecting on labor market in Indonesia. So around 3 million Indonesians having lost their job. So government should to decrease positive COVID by hiring person without medical expertise could be quickly hired and trained to do in fight against COVID. The first, prevention by organizing and carrying out social media campaign to promote social distancing, clean line, use mask while interact. This is a very, you know, that already know from the all people that this is very needed to interact with another people. The second, community health workers could aid in detection. The third, community health workers can support the response by calling the COVID-19 who are in self-isolation with mild symptoms and supervise monitor them for worsening symptom and support rapid referral of people require hospitalization. Leading global protocol for the new normal, hospitality, operational and staff preparedness. So this is very, very important in hospitality industry that all operation person and staff should be preparedness, ensuring a safe experience, rebuilding trust and confidence, and implementing enabling policy. So this is not just for uh, staff, but also how about the guests that will be stay for a long time in the hotel or in some destination area. As cities begin to reopen and consumers begin travel, a new normal is emerging and hotel must be prepared for evolving guest expectation, new marketing strategy to understand the traveler behavior and personal that are target market for recovery. Contactless technology to streamline welcome and departure experience, priority guest safety. So this is guest safety is number one priority if compared with another uh, uh, about what kind of uh, main uh, target of the hospitality in this area. So regarding to this, of course, we all of we a lot of us don't panic because a lot of activity that should be done that already should be done for this. So strategy to promote cities as a brand while pandemic. The first is go digital. This is very important to maintain social distancing. Go personal to promoting brand directly, and go contactless delivery and payment. So this is a very a little bit to contact with guests in order save in while he stay in the hotel. So 7 top tips for destination marketing and the investment promotion during the COVID-19 pandemic. The first is support local business. Innovative your brand can still be experienced. Upskill your team. Use digital to broadcast your values while you are not market your destination. Rating your strategy in the context of this new normal. Be the source of reliable information for your stakeholders. So this is very important in order to get day-to-day operation on having profit in uh, hospitality business. So a lot of debate and discussion in a lot of country how the world will be changed by coronavirus. The prediction for the new norm span healthcare, education, the sharing economic, working from home, and more clean line, social distancing, and so on. So this is very difficult to be answered when the COVID-19 will be last. Is the reason a lot of economies very difficult to answer what kind to do regarding to the pandemic of COVID-19. But it's not mean that a lot of activity should be stopped, but we have to make some strategy in order to get something and live together with COVID in the new normal area. 3-part strategy for new normal tourism recovery. to begin, has identified basic truth of the new reality. Moving forward to restart, the tourism industry must be under disease control. Everything has to change to survive, and that is contingent on highly effective and adaptable disease control measures. So-called new normal for tourism focus on less traveling, smaller gathering, avoiding um, health protocols should be properly implemented. So rebuilding hospitality for new normal, of course, we contactless technology, strict cleaning protocol, intelligent benchmark, focus on profit, integrated system, focus on domestic, create long stay package. As you know that already discussed before, that for globalization, for to do activity in globalization, this is very, very difficult on for implementing now. So this is very, very important to implement the globalization. So this is our the last of our material webinar. So back to Miss Nina as our moderator.
Okay, thank you very much for a very interesting talk, Dr. Harry. I see that Dr. Harry emphasized the challenges and strategies of hospitality that the challenges and strategy of hospitality sector during and after the COVID-19 pandemic situation in his presentation. I came to a conclusion that the strategies include the contactless technology, strict cleaning protocols, intelligent benchmarking, focus on profit, integrated system, focus on domestic, and the creation of long stay package are the strategies that propose to face or to address the challenges in the hospitality sector. Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Harry. And our team has selected some questions from the participant for you. I will read the questions. The first question is from the student of Kadiri University. He is asking about what is the effective strategy for the hotel marketing based on the value.
Okay, thank you very much for Miss Nina. As you know that on hotel business or hospitality business, this is very, very crucial because this is very big affected by pandemic here. So regarding to this, we should to prepare a lot of the things like how about the staff to handle always in safety, and then situation is always apply with the protocol healthy and so on. This is very, very important for hotel to promote day to day by yeah, you know, about the webinar, about the internet, about something like that. This is very, very needed now. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Harry. And then the second question from the lecturer of Kadiri University, Mr. Dian, is asking about the tourism sector. The tourism sector is a significant source of income of this country. But given the current pandemic, how is the appropriate strategies that can be convinced the tourist safety?
Okay, thank you, Ms. Nina. As you know that hospitality or you know about the hotel or destination tourism is very, very important for the person in order to get something on having profit. As you know that this is very, very important for the government to promote or for management to promote a lot of something in order to get, you know, something like gas in safety. So we should to promote about the safety of the hotel, the clean lines, and always, you know, about the implementing protocol healthy for the a lot of guests in hotel. So this is very needed to get something. So we should promote day to day by not only for guests, but what is a strategy to be done in order hotel or something tourism destination should be famous in not just in that area but also around Indonesia. But principle here is not to sell a lot of country in the world, but should be focus on local business first. Thank you.
Okay, so this is your answer, Dr. Harry, also related to the third question. So if what kind of if Indonesia we sell the local products, can Indonesian local products still be able to enter the international market today? So that's the question from Mr. Boti.
Okay. As a matter of fact, that very much tourism destination that should be offered to the world, like Ijen Crater and Mountain Bromo, beside Bali, of course. But as you know that to do something regarding to this, as you know that only from China already come to here, not just you know, not just they live in traveling, but also maybe work in another place. So it's then the reason very, very difficult for us to, you know, very, very should be careful in order all the tourists, all the tourists from another country should be choose in properly.
Okay, so the last question maybe is not really related to the hospitality, but this is the question from Miss Berlian from Surabaya. So the question is, what is the best strategy for government to stabilize the economic while the medical tool supply chain in new normal still not normal? However, people need those medical tools such as masks, sanitizer to start their activity outside. So she's asking your opinion. Yeah.
Okay. You know that on this time, the business is very, 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 very important. Here is uh, in healthy, but as you know that, how can we get the a lot of you know something like for healthy here to make to get from the local, not so just import. As you know that as long as far this time we get the sanitizer mask from another country, but it will be better if we a lot of this buy from the local, like BUMN, maybe like this. This is very important for government to you know how to get money from not just as you know that not just buy from the another country, but buy in local. This is very important for a lot of people to do like this.
Okay. we have one more question, the last question, Dr. from Miss Endang Setiawati from Surabaya, Udkar, Surabaya. So she said that the hospitality industry include several elements, including the human resources, transportation, hotel, and also other factors. For example, like souvenirs, traders, and others. So how to move all of them together as a whole to support each other. So that's the question.
Yes, as you know that what kind of activity to do it if there is no guest from another country, from another city, it's very difficult for a lot of things to do something.
Yes.
This is very, very important. So how can they move on? Of course, there is a very, very difficult if there is no guest. So I stand to reason that is already discussed before that something like I'm sorry if I said like selling in from internet, selling from something like that. This is very, very important for that who's selling souvenir like that.
Oh, yeah, digital marketing,
Yes.
online marketing. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, maybe that's the thing that we can do the least right now, Dr. Harry, right?
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Harry, for the very interesting talk. And we hope that you still here with us until the end, because we will take a picture together, Dr. Harry.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
I will stay.
Yeah. Next, I would like to give the time to our third speaker, Professor Ahmed Gonim, to present his material for about 20 minutes. But before that, I will try to connect with Professor Gonim. Professor Gonim?
Yes, I'm here.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. It's very nice to have you here.
Thank you so much. This is my honor, and thank you for Kadiri University and for you, Musina, for the invitation for the hospitality. And I will, inshallah, will take maybe the time here to apply on the same what my colleagues started and my colleagues give the background about. So I will share my presentation.
Okay.
Actually, we are talking about a new global economy, and the effect of COVID-19 has changed a lot in the global economy. And I have a lot of comments and added value for the questions before. I need to comment at the end. What do the globalization need now, and is it now the time to globalization or nationalization or both? So I will start here applying what my colleague Mr. Raul talked about in the basic and introductory material for the economy and the global economy. So I will apply on another section. Dr. Harry applied on the hospitality, and thank you very much for his presentation. But I will talk about the education here. How can we apply and to find a solution for this pandemic on our field, in our education? From my background and my experience as a education leader for the last 20 years, and I was heading 2 universities as a president, and now I'm director of academic program. I will talk from my perspective. How can I deal with the pandemic? How can I respond to the pandemic in this situation in the education sector? I consider the education is the second priority after the healthcare. So the healthcare now is for sure the first priority for all of us to think and to plan for. But the education is very crucial as well, and very important to think about the education. How can we we convey our message to all universities all over the world. How can we plan for dealing with this pandemic? So I will talk here from the starting from the solution. To start any solution, I have to start first. What are the scenarios? What is the future scenarios of this pandemic? I think this crisis is maybe the most crisis affect the all the sectors. But what are the scenarios? What is the short scenario, or what is the long, or what is the future or long scenario for the pandemic? And what is the solution in each case? The strategies and action plan for higher education institutions. How can we plan for this pandemic? I will start, but I will not take time in this slide because my colleague, Mr. Raul, already has his presentation about the complication of COVID-19. About the jobs we have lost in this few months. The labor intensive markets which has been affected. We have maybe markets has been stopped. The decline of the globalization, the emergency of localization. Yes, I agree with Mr. Raoud that now the globalization trade and globalization economy has been affected significantly. We give examples about for the first time. It is the $0 for the oil price. The food is also is one what we are think about now in countries, that how can we supply the food, and this is very basic needs for any one of us. So the global economy is expected to shrink to 90%, where it is for the other as effect for the COVID. So the main issue we have to focus. What is the main issue now? Disruption in operation resulted from COVID-19. COVID-19 is a global pandemic that has been impacted the whole world since it is first discovered in Wuhan in China. So the impact affected affected all business. All business has a loss with millions of jobs in business. COVID has also led the physical closure of higher education. Now we are thinking, what can we do? What is the solution to deliver the education properly to the students, especially in the practical fields like engineering? Like how can we the online has provided some solution, but it is not enough yet to say that we will be 100% online unless we will think how can we deal with these technologies and how can we utilize it. I will start with presenting future scenarios, implication, and I will put some action plans for this, especially for sure for higher education and institution. Now we have four scenarios here for the pandemic. If we will talk about two different perspective of the pandemic, we have fragile or resilient in short and long term. So in the fragile, in the short term, we are say that the effect of the society and raise of the number of expat departure from the countries, varying levels of distribution in different countries. Economic recovery will be gradual following a sharp decline, increased dependence on technology for monitoring, prevention, high level of sustained government. So this is the fragile look in the short term. What about the fragile in the long term? Survival of the fittest. Widespread distribute with communities, dramatic rise in expats leaving, collapse in talent and government inability, high unemployability rate in service sector, shutdown in massive number of SMEs, short and medium enterprises, extremely high level of government. We are expecting this on the long term in the 12 to 18 months. Now, from now, we are still expecting the rise of the effect of the pandemic. And the resilient way to think here in the short term, we have immediate recovery to pre-COVID-19. Society more likely to resume with renewal. We have here more more optimistic and more look to this. Stronger collaboration between government, and this is opposite of the globalization of the unglobalization. So what we need from the globalization, when we need globalization, yes, we need globalization, because without the global efforts to address the challenges of the pandemic, we will not be able to overcome these challenges on the national level. However, from the national level, we have to focus on our priority first. So we have here the balance between the globalization and nationalization. The globalization to find a solution. No country alone or a researcher in a university will find a medicine or a vaccine, but the collaboration and the consortium for the research centers and the universities and to find this. And but on the other side, for the nationalization, we have to focus on our priority first. We have to search about how can we overcome, how can we strategically think in the national level. So we have to integrate it, actually, globalization, nationalization efforts to overcome the pandemic. Here we call up the impact on our sector. We got an higher. We agreed now that we will get higher education sector as an example, and we will put it as a model to find a solution to respond to global pandemic. At all these changes, both emphasized during the pandemic, definitely affected by higher education leadership mentality. The mentality of the higher education has been changed in a few months. So responding to what? Jobs which are most likely to be replaced by automated solutions. We have to rethink about outcome of the higher education, the graduates. Are they responding to the market needs or not? Yeah, we under this change, we have to think about that. This is the mentality we have to change. The global workforce will need to switch occupational categories alongside increasingly capable machine. Economic crisis and income polarization that already occurring in certain advanced economies, where a lot of people lost their jobs. New trends in job demand. The job demand has been changed significantly. We are not before December. We are not now requiring the same people or the same. We don't have the same vacancies in all sectors, and the higher education is serving all sectors. The high demand in research and development in emergency like this. How can we collaborate? How can we have consortiums to solve these issues? We have to think before strategically plan to solve the problem. We have to have an idea about the stakeholders. Our stakeholders in the higher education is a student and people, resources, community, students, faculty members, and admin staff. We have to think about all stakeholders, and we will think about the effect from different perspective. From student perspective, majority of jobs offers available from COVID-19, resilient economic sectors. Rise of new jobs and career highly sought after cope with COVID. Students are more in control of their learning journey, excited to explore other free learning opportunities. Teaching and learning, also teaching and learning have been affected because option of teaching and learning varies from full distance learning to low density blended learning. Critical need for a major revamp of existing curriculum and assessment strategies. Emergency innovations simulation to compensate for work integration and lab-based components. Yani, how can we deliver the practical teaching and learning for our students? Greater involvement of the community in monitoring and supporting teaching and learning activities. From the research and innovation perspective, COVID has societal and economic challenges reshaping higher education research and innovation agenda. At defies research and innovation funds, already we have to allocate a lot of funds for the research and innovation, because we found now that we have a problem and we don't have a solution, and the research and innovation is the key pillar to find solution for any challenge. We have to be conscious all the time. We have to proactive not reactive. We have to proactive for any future challenge. As we said, that the scenarios is different, and we don't know exactly what will come in few months. So we need to fund the research and innovation. We need to focus on the critical sector for sure to solve these problems, and to think strategically for the future. The people and resources, higher education employees are bonding with the community in variety of ways to support well-being and positively. We have our commitment not only toward our student as a first priority, but to community as well. We are at the higher education. We have to go for the community to support the well-being and positively. Campus and physical assets, at least in a part allocated to support fight against COVID-19. I saw in different ways the research center are working to address the challenges. The physical resources are provided to be maybe for quarantine. So we have to think to support the community, and to work in collaboration with all government and private sectors to work to address these challenges. Higher education new trend and future foresight, the future vision. The first for any strategy is the vision. The economic challenges imposed by the crisis mean that higher education cannot afford to wait, and education has to adapt and transform. Learning environment has to be renovated due to the integration of technology. So if we will talk as, for example, technology provide improved quality, personalization, cost effectiveness, and wide access for education. So education technology will play a huge role in the continuous alignment and transformation to a fully digital world. So we have to equip with these changes. Success in transaction to remote learning, reshaping the higher education research innovation agenda and the allocated budgets for this. So these are the vision of the new changes, or the vision of the new strategy for higher education. Future planning, we have to, what is the main action plan or future plan? How can we deal with this? Future foresight and scenario planning. This is the first exercise we have to do from time to time, because as weather changes, but every day we have change. So we have to continuously foresight and scenario planning for the higher education. Higher education must start re-engineering the academic programs. Competencies, skills are delivered to the student based on the change of the demand. Restructuring the education system and cost, for sure. So to create a hybrid model that combine remote learning and traditional classroom education. This will offer more diverse option for education. The purpose fit outcome. The purpose fit outcome is a basic concept we have to think about. Public and private education institutions have to have a professional and social responsibility, as we said before. And in the short term, we have to plan for the next academic year. This is something we have to think. Transfer the challenges into opportunities. I will not talk negatively. I need to talk positively from the higher education sector perspective here. How can we change these challenges to opportunities? So if we will say that all the international universities will lose the students, and the visas has been already CS for the international student in the US or UK or whatever, this will impact our nation and our higher education, local higher education. We are expecting more from to change. The formula, the student will not stop their learning journey, so they will go to the local universities. So the local universities has to provide them with offers to accommodate them in their university. The new situation, as we said here, attract a higher number of students due to increased capacities. They will enjoy through remote learning, and remote learning will support them wherever they are. Higher education will be able to attract academic faculty from anywhere in the world. The greater skills and experience they can teach online. Now we have solutions for that, and we have to. So it doesn't matter from where the faculty member are teaching from. So I'm giving the presentation from UAE. and we are on the same page and we have the same discussion. So we have to think to accommodate faculty based on their experience, more experienced and professional faculty from different areas of the world can teach in our universities. Higher education can restructure administrative tasks with options for remote working, working from home. We already exercised this in UAE. We were working till now from home, and we are delivering lectures, and we are attending meetings, planning everything. All the areas are going well within the from home as well. So we have to find this as a solution to save time and to save resources. Higher education can redesign the university building because we can reutilize the facilities and physical resources, re-engineer of the economic of education itself, and achieve the balance between expenditure control and quality. So we can now think from the economic to about the cost of education and the fees as well. By planning in advance, higher education institution can successfully overcome the challenges of the post-COVID. This is not only for higher education. This sentence is for all sectors, for hospitality, for agriculture, for education, for healthcare. We have to plan in advance based on the possible scenarios to find solution or to put different plans and to be proactive and preemptive as well. Proactive strategies toward the proposed new vision. How can we put the strategies for this? Refocus. This is for students. I will take also the stakeholders and I will take proactive strategies for them. Refocus employability effort by targeting employer to change the need and to change the trend and to respond to their trend. For example, healthcare, medical suppliers, food retail, e-commerce, as Mr. Rose said, as beginning, and now the opportunity for the e-commerce. So these are the hot trends, and we have to respond to them. We have to find programs, and we can discover the competencies and skills required to deliver to equip the student with. Prepare to offer high volume one-to-one and group counseling for all our students. We have to satisfy their need. They are our product, actually, the students, so we have to take care about. Establish online campus live service. If you all are in the academic field and you know the learning management system is one of the technologies existed already, but now we are developing a campus life management system. We have now to have a balance, not only learning but also campus life is very important to take care about. Establish an online tutoring programs. Uh, Even for the voluntarily work of the student, we have to divert student voluntarily work to focus on COVID-19 adverse. This is the planning. This is the proactive strategies. This can be changed tomorrow, but this today we have to respond to COVID and we have to think about this. Arrange for online orientation session in tutorial format for new students with their admission package into their home. So even the new student, we have to orient them and we have to provide them with the necessary information. From the teaching and learning, we have load into the campus using blended learning. We have to think about the blended learning as a future solution for higher education. We cannot now say that any university can return back to the normal way to deliver the courses physically only. We have to have a blended learning, and we will not go back. If we will not fully online, but in the future we will have the blended learning solution, and lab component is very critical component, and we have to think how can we deliver this. Lessons learned from distance learning should be leveraged to review online courses delivered for effectiveness. Rapid acceleration of virtual lab and virtual work integration learning. Identify faculty struggling with online transition and to engineer them. So we have to professionally develop programs for faculty members to deliver their knowledge through the online and technology tools. Launch an induction programs to guide community group in monitoring and supporting teaching and learning activities. We are not the only part affecting the learning and teaching at home, the families, the students. All of us are stakeholders, and we have to orient all the stakeholders. Based on the need assessment, it may require to accelerate graduating specific major for health and science field. This is one of the proactive strategies. And for health and science, we need more doctors. We need more researchers in this field. So we have to accelerate graduating these programs and put accelerator programs for these sectors, high demand sectors. Research and innovation, accelerate applied research collaboration. We cannot work alone. No researchers can find the solution alone. No research center can work in isolation. We have to work in consortiums. We have to share our knowledge. We don't have the luxury of time to wait for medicine and vaccine. We have to collaborate, and this is the kind of example of globalization needed for to find a solution for this pandemic. Encourage and support social and technological innovation, sought for a quick recovery post COVID-19 leveraging. And for higher education and maybe for our institution incubation spaces. But what we are saying that we have incubation spaces to provide solutions, to support research, to support entrepreneurs. Such on. Explore innovation solution for efficient manufacturing and mass supply of vaccine. Build a repository of the university and those of the international partners to utilize applied research capabilities, virtual research labs, and researchers. And this is another example for the need for collaboration internationally. People and resources, develop contingency plan to address potential budget cuts, new cost per student. Now all the salaries, even if the people are working now and they didn't lose their job, but maybe they have been affected by also in cutting their salary. So we have to find a new scheme for the cost of education. Review and update existing cost structure, reduce cost of maintaining physical classrooms, and increase online education technology budget. Establish a new hiring mechanism for adjunct or even full-time international faculty to teach from their home country. Institutionalize policies to encourage employee volunteer activities to support community well-being. Increase use temporary part-time freelance workers. This will enhance us to reduce the cost. Redesign campuses to allow physical teaching and hygiene. And I will give you in a few minutes a case study about higher colleges of technology, and this is the largest higher education institution in UAE, and their Uber education. Uber education, and one of the solutions came now to be the trend at UAE because of COVID. So I'm thinking about the positive things now and the new vision. Our leadership here at UAE, like Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the vice president and ruler of Dubai, so he said that the world after Corona will need different preparation because it will be different. So now the government itself is supporting the public, private, higher education to find a solution. They all are integrated together, and they are supporting by not only by budget but by strategically think and support and accept. I will give you an example for the support of the government at UAE. They now, we have online solutions in universities doesn't have this license here, so we are now monitoring them, developing policies for the online learning. So this is kind of support as well to equip. This is the case of higher colleges of technology, HCT. They call it open education at HCT. Education is personalized to the student needs and requirement and directly connected to the world of the work through simulate and real experience. Establishment of mobile learning, where learning is sourced from anywhere, delivered by full-time and adjunct faculty based on anywhere, just in time and on demand. This is the very important. Establish e-portfolio for every student. In portfolio, we have to add the skills, competencies acquired, plus the knowledge in their e-portfolio. And the e-portfolio is the micro-credential and digital badge instead of the normal certification or graduation certificate. virtual simulate applied learning experience becoming the norm, where faculty are more of facilitators and coaches. Incubation is abbreviation for three words: innovation, incubation, and this is yani spaces. Yani these spaces has been allocated in all campuses of. So we have 16 different locations, 16 campuses all over the UAE, to provide impressive stimulated environment addressing priority economic and social challenges. Digi Campus is a new concept as well in the open education at higher colleges of technologies, based on widespread use of big data and artificial intelligence to support teaching and learning. So we have to think, we have to plan, we have to find solutions, we have to adapt. This is a preemptiveness, innovation, preemptiveness, and agility is the three main, let's say, catalyst here in our strategy. And we have to put in our mind the three words again: agility, innovation, and preemptiveness or proactiveness. This is the last of my presentation. Thank you for your time, and this is the reference as well. This is the right. Actually, I used all these references to prepare the presentation for you. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much for a very interesting talk, Professor Gonim. I see that Professor Gonim emphasized the scenario, strategies, and action plans for higher education institutions. So the pandemic has reshaped the agenda of higher education institutions all over the world, of course. So the education has to adopt and transform. So by planning in advance, I agree with that. By planning in advance, higher education institutions can successfully overcome the challenges post COVID-19 pandemic era. So Professor Gonim, our team has selected 3 questions from the participant for you. So I will read the questions. The first question is from Mr. Boti. He is asking 2 questions. The first question is, how should the society adjust to the current economic situation, especially for the small and medium business owner or small and medium higher educations? That's the first question. And then the second question, how should people adjust? So the first question is how the society adjusts, and then the second question is how the people adjust, especially the people who have limited capital, to adjust to the situation.
Yes.
Is the question clear enough?
Yes. I understand what is the meaning of the question, because they talk that maybe developed countries is different than developing countries, and the resources are different.
Yes.
But we have a lot of resources. If we will not supply a huge system, cost millions of dollars to facilitate our education, we have these small and free applications. So but the concept to be accepted, we have to adapt ourselves. For the society or for the people, they have to be oriented how to use technology and how to respond to the pandemic in this way. We don't have solutions. If we are in home, we will stop education or we will work, but in different resources, and we need to upgrade our skills first to deal with these technologies. So if we will talk about Zoom, it is one of the technology, doesn't cost a lot, and it is a way for delivering lectures. Google already has provided the Google Classroom, so we have different solution with different scheme of cost, but we have to be aware about these solutions and what is the available. So we have to research, we have to plan, and we have to think about the budget and to utilize the budget. So I will say that the answer will be in one word: the utilization of resources is the main key pillar of the success at this pandemic, not the high technology. So we can make the open education in a huge system, provide a lot of facilities, or in Zoom or in Google Classroom. So we have, but we have to think about the concept itself.
Yes. Okay, thank you. And then the second question is from our dean, asking the question. This is maybe not really related to about what you already present. So she is asking about your opinion, the information. She wants you to share the information and opinion about remembering that your country is a rich country. Um, so she's asking how is the scenario to face the COVID-19 pandemic in your country? Is it the same, or is it also have what kind of challenges your country have
Yes.
to face? Yeah.
Yes. I will answer the respected yani, professor with a small and basic question. I didn't talk in my presentation about the technologies or
Yeah.
the huge budgets, but I'm talking about the secret of the solution here, the planning, the strategy, and the vision, and the well analyzed situation will be very shortly overcome or affected. So if we will think about again about limited resources or limited budget, but we utilize them these budgets, I think. And also I will say something about Indonesia and other developing countries which has maybe limited a budget comparing to other countries. They have the brains, and they have the human capabilities, and they have the human resource uh, workforce, so they are rich, but not for my money, by minds and by thinking. So, but please, try to use the strategic thinking. Strategy, it means that I have to think about the issue, about the vision, the action plan and strategies, and be proactive. Be proactive. Don't wait. And this is not about the money. So the three catalysts I said, agility, proactive or preemptiveness, and the innovation is depending on mind, on our brains, on our mentality. So we need to think without the limitation of the budget here. And on the other side, the technology itself maybe save some budget for we don't have now the huge facilities, the buildings. We need now to talk about technology, about thinking. So maybe this is can reduce the cost of education, not to increase the cost. Now we are thinking to reshape the cost of or the fees of for the student to attract more local students through the online. So we
Yes.
don't have here the building. We have online. We just have a subscription on Zoom, and we already conducted such a professional webinar. So
Yeah.
it doesn't the matter of money or the budget, but we have to think right strategically about this.
Strategically, yes. Exactly, I agree about it. Thank you very much. And then the last question, Professor Gonim, is from Mr. Ruhiat Taufik from Tangerang. So the question is about your opinion. So the three biggest issues in the COVID outbreak right now is that the three sectors is the economics, health sector, and then the education. In your opinion, what is the priority in handling this issue right now? What is to be the most?
Absolutely, I will say one thing. Healthcare is the first priority for all of us in all other sectors.
Yeah.
So if we will think now to reshape or re-engineer the programs, we need to think about new programs to provide healthcare, support healthcare. If we need to to think about research and innovation, we are thinking to research and innovation to support and develop new solutions for in the healthcare sector. If we'll talk about the accelerated program, we need to get more graduates in healthcare. The first priority for all of us at this pandemic will be the healthcare, and the second and the pillar for the healthcare, the main pillar of the healthcare is the education. If we'll find a solution in for medicine or vaccine very soon, the economic will be recovered. The economic is the overall outcome of these efforts and challenges to transfer it into opportunities, as I said. So we have now, and I need to answer another question from Mr. Raul's question. I record some question in it. Now we need to not to say that globalization only in trading, but in globalization in efforts and solutions. We have to have consortiums all over the world. We have I have a lot of links and relations in Indonesia with the universities. They have research, medical research centers. They have the professors are working in these sectors, but only them they are not able to find a solution. They have to have a consortium. The internationalization in higher education is very important. So we have to link our efforts. We have to utilize the resources, the labs. So if we don't have the fancy labs in Indonesia, the researchers in Indonesia can use the labs in UK or in other country. So this is the consortium now, because we have to collaborate all to find a solution at the earliest. Otherwise, the economic will be affected for sure. And this is the overall outcome.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Gonim. Now we will move to the last session. So I will read the question from participants for all the speakers. I will invite another for our other speakers, to Mr. Rahul and Dr. Harry. So the questions are, the first question is, what is the best prospective business in this new normal for each of your country? Maybe Professor Gonim can answer first.
Yes, for the perspective here, or the emerging sectors here are the online trading for sure. The online trading is a sector, and now we are not going to malls again. We are buying everything online. So I think there are a lot of companies working in e-commerce, or they have achieved a huge income and profits during these. I think the map of the world has been changed because of the online now. So on anything online will be prospective for us now.
Okay, yeah. Thank you, Professor. What about Dr. Harry and Mr. Rahul?
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. As you know that in this pandemic, very, very difficult to find what kind of product that should be to sell for another word. But in Indonesia, you have to know that estate and agriculture maybe is still prospective product to sell for another word. And of course, this is very important for us. As you know that our main product in Indonesia is agriculture and estate. So it's then the reason how can we sell this product to another country in order we can increasing a lot of that should be to do in a lot of activity to do this. I think like this, something like this.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Harry. And Mr. Rahul, what about in India?
Thank you very much, Professor Nina, for this question. As I said during the time of my presentation, the Indian government is more in nationalism point of view right now. They are going on economic nationalism. So we are more focused on manufacturing sector, and the mode of, like Dr. Gonim said, is going to be online. So we are pushing a lot of fund to, suppose example, a manufacturing of chip of mobile. We are starting a new plant in our country for manufacturing of those chips which we used to buy from China. But the mode of any transaction is going to be online. There's no one going to be in a shop and buy. So core focus of India is in manufacturing sector, but the mode is still for upcoming, I think 6 or 1 year is going to be online. That is what India is doing.
Okay. So we agree that right now online trading is the key to or the prospective business in most of the countries. Okay, thank you very much.
You need to understand online is not a business. Online is in a mood to do the business, right?
Yeah.
Like suppose Professor Harry said that the Indonesian economies depend on agriculture. So agriculture is basically a sector, but how to sell that agriculture product is an online mode.
Yeah.
Online
Yes,
platform to
yes,
sell.
of course.
That's what is.
Of course, of course.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the honorable speakers, ladies and gentlemen. We finally come to the end part of this seminar, but before I close the seminar, I would like to take the conclusion from what the speakers have presented. Our speakers focus on different sectors in their presentation, namely the globalization, and then the hospitality sector, and then the education sector. The integration of globalization and nationalism in economics are the key of the new normal of COVID-19 pandemic. By planning in advance, I quote the phrase from Professor Gonim has already stated before. By planning in advances, global economics, hospitality sectors, higher education institutions, and other sectors can successfully overcome the challenges post-COVID-19 pandemic era. We all hope that it will be the scenario. So I'd like to thank so much to the honorable speakers for informative and interesting presentation, and to all the participants for your active participation. Please give applause for the speakers and for you all. Before we close the seminar, I would like to invite all the participants of today's seminar to take picture together with our honorable speakers and the seminar team. Please turn on all of your cameras. Okay, we're waiting some to turn on, some other participants to turn on their cameras. Okay, ready? I will count up to 3 and please give your best smile to the camera. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you very much. I and all of our team for the international seminar today apologize for the shortcomings and mistakes in today's seminar. Hopefully, the seminar will be beneficial for everybody. Amin. Amin. Hope to see you again in another seminar held by Kadiri University. Have a good day. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Professor Gonim.
Thank you. This is an honor to be with you, and Allah will be very happy to be in any future seminar.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. Mr. Rahul, thank you very much. Okay.
Kadiri University is a private university located in Kadiri, East Java, Indonesia. It is located in the west of Kadiri, near with Selamanglang Cave and Airlangga Museum. The location is also near with Maskumambang Hills, makes the Kadiri University be a comfortable place for studying and learning. Kadiri University has big contribution of Kadiri development. It's said by Sudanjo Supriyadi Wali Songo Kadiri Foundation since 1980. Kadiri University has passed many bachelor to fulfill the society needs in Kadiri especially and in Indonesia commonly. The graduates of Kadiri University have gotten a job in many cities and countries all over the world. Creating the competent, superior, characterless to be able to compete internationally in 2026 is the vision of Kadiri University. It is also supported by all faculties in Kadiri University. Kadiri University has academic, profession, and vocational education, namely Law Faculty, Social and Politics Faculty, Agriculture Faculty, Economics Faculty, Engineering Faculty, Health Science Faculty. Using student-centered learning, Kadiri University is supported by the good quality of lecturer to get the good cognitive, effective, and psychomotoric graduation to be able to compete in globalization era. Kadiri University has academic and non-academic facilities such as library, computer center, language center, ASEAN Studies Center, sports stadium, infestation gallery, mini hospital, and job placement center to make the student easier to get the job.
Mari bergabung bersama kami di Universitas Kadiri.